What is going on, everybody? Logan here for a new video, and today, as you can tell from behind me, I got my hands on a 2019 brand new Ford Raptor, courtesy of Ken over here. If he looks familiar, it's because he let me do a review on his TRD Pro and his BMW M5. He actually traded in the M5 to get this right here. So this truck, I mean, I drove it a little bit. This has got to be the most complete truck you can get. It is optioned out, has every option you can get, has a 4.5 rough country lift, along with live valve technology, Fox racing shocks. So this thing is crazy. And these right here, the actual shocks right here, look at those massive control arms. But this thing right here is adjusting as you're driving, whether you're driving on the highway, going over rocks or whatnot. It is actively dampening your ride for just a more comfortable ride, just no matter what you're doing. So even for daily driving, as you're taking a turn, it's not going to allow too much body roll, so you stay planted and you feel like you're in control, allowing for a much more comfortable ride. I mean, this is just a very awesome truck, just from the styling. This right here is actually the widest personal truck that Ford makes. And actually, with these lights right here, these ones right up here, a lot of people think that they are just for looks. Well, Ford has to legally include them because it's basically like a commercial vehicle because it's so wide. And on top of that, on top of how wide it is, these tires right here, look how much they stick out from the body. Looking at the front, you can see you have a couple tow hooks right here. You have a camera right here that helps you park. Going around here to the side, very cool side skirts. I love the contrast that these side skirts give. It gives it just a very aggressive look. And right here on the side, you can see the side rails. They are textured, so for when, if it's wet or anything outside, you're not going to slip. They actually have, it says Raptor right here, just a cool little touch right there. So these right here are specific to the Raptor. Coming over here to the side, I am so glad that they updated this side right here from the 18s, because on the 18s, I mean, it wasn't a bad look, but just that mud splash up, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it. I like how it just says Raptor right here. It's much cleaner, and it's actually cool because the Raptor letters are actually all reflective, so at nighttime while you're driving around, you know that it's a Raptor because it's just, it lights up. And these wheels right here were actually a custom option from the dealership. They're actually the fuel vapor wheels. They're 20-inch, and the tires that going around it is actually 37s. Now, on a normal Raptor, it would be 35s, but there's just a custom option to get the Nitto Ridge Grappers, so you actually have basically a rock climbing off-road tire. So this truck is just built just to go off-road. Moving here to the rear, the bumper and the front bumper, real metal. It's actually steel, not plastic like other trucks, so you don't have to worry about it getting scraped, dented in or anything. Another kind of styling cue that's a little bit different from the 18s is the Ford lettering back here. For one, it is reflective, so you know it's definitely going to reflect at nighttime, and it's a little bit offset as far as the color. It doesn't just match this like the 18, so that's just another little tiny difference from the 18s. You have a couple more tow hooks back here, and you got the towing package and the dual exhaust. The one kind of irk I have, which isn't even a huge irk, it's just me personally as a V8 guy, is the exhaust note. Listen to this. It's not terrible, but it's just not a V8, and that's just me personally. It doesn't have that burble of a V8, but with a very simple muffler change and just very slight modifications to your exhaust, you can make it sound pretty cool. But this is a work truck at the end of the day. A ton of government agencies use these for work, just for, you know, police agencies, different things like that. So it doesn't have to be a V8, and honestly, that could actually help with some of the police operations they do and the government agencies. And one thing I forgot to mention about the front is it has a skid plate from the factory, so that's just one other thing that helps it go off-road, and that helps it be such a you know, versatile vehicle that so many different government agencies can use. Back here, this one has a soft drop tailgate where you just gotta push the button, lowers it for you just in case your hands are full. And there isn't any kind of bed liner back here yet, but what kind of bed liner are you gonna use?
We're gonna put a Line-X liner on it.
So with the Line-X back here, it makes it just that much more of a work vehicle. It has a ton of tie-down spots, so very versatile. And let's just say you need some lights to come on, it has some lights right here on the side. If you need to turn them on, push this button and they come on. This truck right here just has so many practical accessories and little quirks that make this truck worth what you're gonna pay to get the truck. So this has got to be the top of the line truck you can get. And before we move inside, you can see This Fox Racing, the live valve system like I was telling you about, and it really sticks out, that orange and silver. Says Raptor right there on the side. The styling of this Raptor is just truly awesome. You know it's a Raptor when it's driving up, and just look at that stance. So with the tires, this thing is 6.5 inches taller than a normal Raptor, straight from the dealership. Now styling is definitely not lacking on this truck, but you can have the coolest looking truck out there, but if you don't have a good interior, it can be a very useless truck. Just look at this back seat. You have a ton of room for supplies, for people, whether it's going to be a daily driver or a family vehicle. You have a ton of room back here. As far as space, I'm a 225 pound, 5'10" dude. I am comfortable back here. I mean, plenty of leg room, headroom. This is a comfortable vehicle, and I mean, Ford really hit it out of the park with this. And even the floors, they are completely flat all the way across. There's not some random hump right here, so that just gives you that much more of an option to, you know, carry more stuff. Right back here, you have your cigarette lighter, you have USB ports, and you got a real plug. So, oh, and on top of that, you have some vents so the people in the back seat's not going to be hot or cold, just depending on what time of the year it is. Even here on the doors, plenty of storage space. I mean, heck, you can even put a map in there. I mean, who uses maps now? But you just have a ton of storage space. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know it had that right there. Some more cup holders. On top of the cup holders is right there, and the cup holders is up here. So this truck really blows me away. Now, as soon as you get in, right there, looking at you in the eye, Ford Performance, I love the way that looks. It's no longer an SVT anymore, that's one thing. It's now Ford Performance, but as you get in, very comfortable. I mean, you know you're in a Raptor. It says Raptor right here. And this truck in particular has the carbon fiber package. So there's carbon fiber all over this truck, from right here on the shift knob, right here on this little storage bin, right here to this little shelf. That actually has a light up there. So if you ever need to, like if you're driving at nighttime, you need to read something, a book or something, it has a little light right there. And there's even more carbon fiber right here. So, and look at this leather, very comfortable leather that you can easily put your arm on if you're driving. I mean, this truck is a very comfortable. This is a very luxurious truck. I really can't get over the fact about just all the leather and carbon fiber everywhere. And right here you can select, you know, whether you're gonna be in 2 or 4-wheel drive. You have your trailer backup right here, your engine start stop button, and then the whole heads-up display right here. You can push some buttons right here on the steering wheel. There's the mode, so let's go ahead and hit the mode. You can put your mode in normal, deep snow sand, Baja, rock crawl. Let's get that right there away. Slippery, whether it's raining or whatnot. Tow haul, or, let's get it one more time, sport. So if you're gonna be racing people or whatnot, there's that. And through this menu, you can go see your tire pressure, you can change the gauges, towing information, your fuel history and consumption, the digital speedometer, engine information. I mean, there's so many different just menus in here that you would never get bored going through all these things, being able to change so many different things. And that is one thing that this 2019 has that the 18s don't have, is they have adaptive cruise control and they have pre-collision assist. So it would brake for you if it feels like you're about to collide into somebody, just to minimize any kind of damage. You have, and this is the first I've ever seen on a truck, you have some shifters right here, the paddles. And I believe they're magnesium, so they have a very comfortable feel. You can even see them from the side, just how big they are. So actually having paddle shifters on a truck is really cool, and it's useful because if you're rock climbing or going through the sand or whatnot, that's just something that you would love to have. Now this truck does have the 10-speed automatic, which if any of y'all know anything about the Mustangs, it's crazy the numbers that the 10-speed automatic is helping these Mustangs to get to. And on top of all those options, it actually has heated and cooled seats. And as I'm sitting here right now, my back is ice cold, even though it's 100+ degrees outside. I am cold in here. This truck is really blowing me away, because I've been in other Raptors before and it just does not feel like this. And even the BMW M5 I reviewed, it doesn't feel this comfortable. And I drove it out here, and this is a very comfortable ride. It feels like you're driving a car as far as the performance of it, the handling. This is a very comfortable truck. Now, one problem I've always had driving some of these big trucks is parking and not really knowing exactly how close you are to the car in front of you. Well, Ford fixed that. They have a camera that shows you exactly how close you are to the vehicle in front of you. And another thing this truck has is all these cameras around your truck that give you a 360-degree view all around, so you know exactly what's around. And it's kind of cool that it's actually a Raptor that you see, not just a normal car, and all the stuff around the truck that you see is what is around. Even down to, I don't know if y'all can see it on the camera, see that little bit of wetness right there? That right there is actually outside the truck. That's from the AC. So this truck is just blowing me away as I'm doing this review. And then when you put it in reverse, it changes so you can see exactly what's behind you. If you hit the button again, it gives you the full screen just so you can see everything. And let's just say you have to get super close to something and maybe you're backing up to a trailer, hit it again, it gives you a zoomed up view. So that's just one more useful little feature this truck has. And this truck right here is just like the Mustangs, how if you push the traction control button one time, it turns off traction control. Push it again, it comes back on. But I think it's kind of like a cool little feature. If you hold the button while you're stopped and with your foot on the brake, give it a second, it's going to turn off the advanced track. So you have no stability control and no traction control. It's just, I mean, I really couldn't see why you need to do it in a truck, but that's just cool that you can do it if you wanted to. And another thing that makes this truck super useful are all these auxiliary switches up here. So for all these government agencies, whether it's the police or whatnot, if they have sirens or lights on their truck, I mean, you have all of the switches that you would ever need. So you don't have some of those ugly switches that some people put, whether they're right down here on the dash or whatnot. It's all built in. Now, another important part of any truck is the middle console. Well, Ford thought of that, and they gave you a huge middle console in here. This truck has a tactical 9mm. I'm sure you could fit an Uzi in there if you really wanted to, or if you're a working dude. I mean, all kind of tools or whatnot in there. This right here slides. It's just, this truck is crazy as far as all the options and how Ford really thought of the person who's going to be using it. Even over here, you have your cigarette lighter, but you have a 110 outlet right here, so you can plug up, you can charge your computer. If you have some kind of tools or something you have to use, you might be able to charge them like that. Like I showed you earlier, they have another little storage bin right here that's covered in carbon fiber. That is, I mean, still sizable with another few USB ports. And then moving back over here, you have your lane departure assist. So if you are kind of floating to another lane and you have that option on, it's going to help you just stay in your lane that much more. And that is really helpful because, like I showed you earlier, this truck is huge. And one thing that I didn't even know, I was just making a comment about how, you know, it's just this nice little touch right here, but all Ford performance vehicles, they have this right there. And this Ford Raptor actually has the option with the full panoramic sun/moon roof. Let's go ahead and, for if you just want to open it up where you have a little bit more sun in, that right there moves back all the way. It's not just halfway, it is the full roof of this vehicle, which just completely changes the entire dynamic of the inside in here. And then you want, let's just say you want a little bit more wind in, you push the button to open it, and there you go. So with it all the way back, you can clearly see wide open. And this little button right here, you push it and it opens up this little window back here. Pull it, it closes it. So I remember the days when you had to do that manually. I think that's cool that Ford put that in there. I mean, a lot of other vehicles have that, but it's just crazy that Ford literally has thought of everything they can give the driver. And then you want to close this, you just push it, you don't even have to hold it. And well, it goes halfway, and then you push it again, closes up everything, and doesn't allow any sun in at all. And there you go, back to normal driving. And like I mentioned earlier, this truck is optioned out, so this has the Bang & Olufsen upgraded stereo. So they put the speaker up here just to allow you to hear the music that much better. And that little dimple in front of the speaker is the automatic windshield sensor, so it knows when to turn on the windshield wipers or whatnot. And then moving to this little head unit right here, you have all kind of different things. You have, the first button of course is the audio, but you can go to your climate, you can go to your phone just to call people so you don't have to pick up your phone. You have navigation, you have different apps right here. You can load different apps. This one doesn't have any in it yet, but over here is the settings where you can have either a mobile hotspot using your truck. I think you have to pay a little bit more for that, but it's just cool that the feature is there. You can change your settings for all the navigation, radio, sound, everything. But I think one of the coolest things about this is that this is a Ford Raptor and has power, and look at this. you have a valet mode, which is going to be secured with a 4-digit PIN so that the valets, they can't change any features. We're going to say no, but it's just really cool that this truck has that. And when you hit the vehicle button right here, it gives you another menu where you can change your door keypad code, you can change the camera settings, and then you have this ambient light button that allows you to adjust the brightness of the ambient light. That is one thing that I wish Ford would change, is allowing the ambient light around the vehicle to change different colors like my Mustang. This one, it's only a blue, but still, that's cool that this car even has ambient lighting. Now, this is just another thing that makes this vehicle a little bit different from 2018. This truck is equipped with an electronic parking brake, while the 18 has the old style pedal down here. Let's go ahead and get under the hood and check out that 3.5 liter twin turbocharged engine. And under the hood, you can see that the top of the engine mount, or on top of the engine cover, is actually the same kind of style as the hood of this vehicle. Nothing kind of crazy down here, but just I think it's kind of cool that this vehicle shares the same engine with the Ford GT. Now, of course, the Ford GT is going to be tuned a little bit different, so that's just another cool little thing you can say at car shows or with your family member's house or something, that your vehicle shares the same engine as the Ford GT. Now, this truck right here is crazy how it sits, but amazingly, he wants more power. So what all do you plan to do in the future?
Probably the next upgrades are going to be the tuning of the engine. What I'd like to do is get it to sound a little different as well. So maybe putting a Borla exhaust on it, maybe changing out the intercoolers so it cools the vehicle a little better. Finally putting a cold air intake. I think with all that you'll end up getting about 100 more horsepower, probably 132 pound-feet of torque. Boost this sucker up from 450 horsepower to over 550 with just a ton of torque, just to give it a little more performance beyond what we already have. And
that's one thing. This vehicle, even though it's a V6, has 450 horsepower and over 500 foot-pounds of torque, which you compare that to the supercharged 6.2 liter, it's a night and day difference. The 6.2 liter had roughly 400 horsepower and 430 foot-pounds of torque. This right here is quicker, and it goes from 0 to 60 in like 5 seconds flat, which Mustang GTs is roughly 4 seconds. This right here is a second slower. This is 5,000 pounds. So I really just can't say enough about this truck. This truck really blew me away, and I would love to have one of these. This truck right here, MSRP is for $83,000 with all the options it has, but just a normal Ford Raptor starts out about $57,000. So, I mean, with all these options, it is, yes, of course, it's going to increase the price, but it just really enhances the experience and just the look of your vehicle. It is definitely the king of the road and the best truck you can get right now. But guys, that is it for this video. I really can't wait to see where this truck goes, how much horsepower it's eventually going to have, and I'm kind of curious, looking forward, what the 2020 Ford Raptors are going to have. Some people are saying that it's going to have the 2020 GT500 engine with like 760 horsepower. That would be crazy, but it would be rivaling the 2020 Ram Rebel with the Hellcat. So I'm very curious what the Raptor has in the future. But with what we have right now with the 2019, I'm not let down. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.